Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today you are having your session number 4 of week 2 via Nursery International School online support system. We are going to talk about phrasal verbs. Now we will see what's a phrasal verb. A phrasal verb is a verb followed by a preposition, an adverb, both preposition or adverb, and the combination creates the meaning different from the original verb alone. Here is the formula: verb plus preposition or verb plus adverb or verb plus adverb plus preposition. Let's look at the examples. I ran into an old friend at a shopping mall. Over here the phrasal verb is ran into, and you can see this verb is followed by a preposition, and this word means to meet someone unexpectedly. Next one is we put off washing the dishes. Over here the verb put is combined with the adverb of, and it gives the meaning to postpone. Next one is they all look up to him. Over here look is the verb which is combined with the adverb up and with the preposition to, and which gives the meaning to admire. Now let's look at the types of the phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb can be either transitive or intransitive. Now let's see what are transitive phrasal verbs and how are they used. Some phrasal verbs are transitive because they need an object to complete the meaning. For example, I made up the story. Over here you can see made up is a phrasal verb, and if we do not add the object the story, we will not be clear about the meaning. For example, if I say I made up means to create or to devise. So what did you make? You don't know until you add the object. So over here the story is the object of the verb made up, and in this way it conveys a whole thought, that is you created or you devised a story. Now we will see the different ways in which these phrasal verbs are used. The first one is some transitive phrasal verbs are separable because we can place the object between the verb and the particle. Particle is the preposition or the adverb that is placed after the verb. So over here made is the verb and up is the preposition, so this up is actually the particle. For example, I looked the word up in the dictionary. So this word look up means to search. So this can be a separable phrasal verbs. Why? Because we can put the object between the phrasal verbs look and up. So it can be separable. Some transitive phrasal verbs cannot be separated and the object must be placed after the particle. For example, they asked for an extension. Over here, ask for is a phrasal verb which means to request. So if we separate these two parts, it will not make any sense. So let's say they ask an extension for. So you see it doesn't make any sense. So we cannot separate these two parts. Next one is some transitive phrasal verbs can take an object either between the verb and the particle or after the particle. For example, I picked up the book or I picked the book up. So either way the sentences are correct. So it can be a phrasal verbs that can be separated. However, if the object is a pronoun, it must be placed between the verb and the preposition. For example, I picked it up. So you can see the object over here is a pronoun. So you will always separate these two parts if the object is a pronoun. It will only make sense. Otherwise, if you don't separate it, it will not make any sense. For example, I picked up it. So you can see it doesn't make any sense. So you always have to separate these two parts. Now we will see what are intransitive phrasal verbs. Unlike transitive ones, these phrasal verbs don't need an object when used in a sentence. For example, my car broke down. Over here, broke down is the phrasal verbs, which means the car stopped working. So without an object, it conveys the whole thought, whole idea. So it doesn't need an object to convey its meaning. Next one is he suddenly showed up. Showed up means to arrive somewhere. So someone suddenly showed up. Again, it gives a complete thought. So you don't need an object to complete the meaning. Now students, there is a phone call that was made to a helpline, and over here you can see certain words that have been highlighted. All these words are called phrasal verbs. I hope now you are clear about the types of the phrasal verbs, and you will be able to recognize now which type of phrasal verb it is, whether it is transitive, intransitive, or separable or inseparable. So let's read the conversation. This is my first cell phone. I am trying to figure it out. I looked over the directions, but I am still confused. When I make a phone call, all the buttons on the phone call light up, and I don't know what to do. Help! Every time I want to call up someone on this cell phone, the phone cuts me off. I just heard a strange sound. I'm afraid this phone is going to blow up. Please help me out. So, you see, there are the words that are separable, that are inseparable, that are transitive or intransitive. Students, feel free to ask me any question regarding phrasal verbs if you are still confused about it. Thank you so much.